morning, and welcome to another scintillating edition of NATEFLIX, your home for movies on the radio. I'm your host, Nate Hensley. I write movie reviews at GoVideoGainesville.com, and I also work at GoVideo, Gainesville's last and best video store, to get all the hot new releases, DVDs, and Blu-rays.
I'm Barrett Daniel. I am a aspiring composer and director. I'm a co-owner of GoVideo.
Well, my name is Barrett Daniel. I'm an aspiring filmmaker myself, but mostly trying to ride the coattails of GoVideo and this AM radio station to achieve my 15 minutes of fame.
Well, secretly, I hope to be an actor, and so I've buddied up with two aspiring filmmakers, hoping to score
there you
a big
go.
role and get off of radio and get out of working.
That's the dream.
As I mentioned, GoVideo is the only place where you can talk to a real human being while you're getting the hottest new DVDs and Blu-rays. This week, this Tuesday, GoVideo is getting a wide array of new releases. First, I'd like to discuss a sci-fi action thriller called In Time with Justin Timberlake and Amanda Seyfried. Is that how it's pronounced?
It also stars Olivia Wilde, Cillian Murphy, a few actors from Mad Men, and the US show.
Basically, every beautiful person you can find in Hollywood is in this movie.
Alex Pettyfer, yeah. This is a Twilight dream team of young people in this movie. And despite the very low critical reviews, I'm actually excited to see this. If you look at, I'm surprised that it actually was reviewed poorly, considering the writer-director is named Andrew Nicole. He directed Lord of War and Gattaca, which I really like.
Lord of War is one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies.
Oh, yeah. And he wrote, but did not direct The Truman Show and The Terminal, which I also really like.
That's interesting. Well, In Time has the concept behind the movie. It depends on how they play it. It could be great or it could be ridiculously stupid because it sounds ridiculously stupid. Now, if you don't know about this movie, the premise is that in the future, something has happened to humanity where we only have a limited amount of time. You're supposed to die by the time you're 25 years old, and to wit, everybody has a clock set on their forearm showing how much time they have left. Now, time has become currency. Rich people have lots of time. They could live for hundreds of years. Poor people panhandle for minutes so that they can live out the day. Mm-hmm. And Justin Timberlake becomes a Robin Hood type character who steals time from the rich and gives it to the poor.
The niche about this is actually you actually stop aging. For some whatever happens, you stop aging at 25. And what's great about writing that in to the plot is that literally every single actor of the entire movie is young and hot.
Mm-hmm. Olivia Wilde actually plays Justin Timberlake's mom.
Correct.
In this movie.
Yeah, and so basically they stop aging, but once that clock runs out, and I have to say I think it's an interesting concept, especially tied to someone that directed Gattaca, but I think that it's kind of like gone in a really kind of the wrong direction. Justin Timberlake as an action hero, I don't know if I could stomach that.
I think he's done a pretty good job so far choosing roles. I don't want to diss him for choosing this one because he, gave him the opportunity to branch out into something serious, something that may turn him into an action thriller star. But at the same time, I wouldn't have said no to this role considering working with Andrew Nicole. So it was surprising that this one didn't do too well. But man, what a great way to get young people excited to see this movie. There isn't going to be anyone old or unattractive in this movie at all, right? Because of the general concept of the film.
It's fantastic. No oldies need apply. Now, if you are old, a movie that may appeal to you a little bit more is called The Big Year. Now, this is an indie comedy drama with an all-star cast, including Steve Martin, Jack Black, and Owen Wilson in the three leads.
Now, the director, his name is David Frankel. You may know him for Marley and Me and The Devil Wears Prada. So if those two movies are the type of movies you like, you probably really like this one.
I kind of, from watching the trailer for this, I kind of got like a Wild Hogs feel. And I know a lot of people did like those Wild Hogs movies. Kind of something fun for that kind of demographic.
I like the cast team up, but If I'm going to see Steve Martin and Jack Black and Owen Wilson in a role, I'd rather see Todd Phillips direct it, or make it a little gritty, make it a little more Saturday Night Live fun.
I'm really curious about this because the director has had hit movies before. All three of these actors are big name actors. If they're not A-list, then at one time they were A-list.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember this blipping through our local theaters at all. It seems like it went straight to DVD, which is unusual. This seems like it could be a hit movie.
There's a lot of action, sci-fi, horror movies coming out this week. This is the exception, if you're looking for something a little different.
Now, on to the horror thriller aspect of this week's new releases. First of all, there is The Thing, which is a prequel/remake hybrid of the John Carpenter's The Thing from the 1980s, which was in and of itself a remake of a movie from the 1940s.
This is coming out on DVD?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, DVD and Blu-ray. So this movie, also called The Thing, to avoid confusion, is set just days before the original.
So it's somewhat of a sequel, prequel, what you want to call it. But if you want to check out the new one and compare it to the old one, come by Go Video. We carry both.
Yes, we have multiple copies of both titles. Now, The Thing is my all-time favorite monster movie. It stars Kurt Russell. It's set in the Antarctic. Something that crashed long ago is unearthed from the ice, and it starts picking off the members of this isolated camp. The Thing can absorb you and then become you. So not only can it impersonate anybody who's there flawlessly, but it can also transform into anything that is ever eaten in its hundreds of thousands of years of existence. It's wild, it's crazy, it's scary, it's one of my favorite horror movies, and as I said, my all-time favorite monster movie. Now, the new thing, that's pretty big shoes to fill, is prequelizing what I think is one of the great horror movies ever. And it does a pretty good job, I have to say.
It's big shoes to fill because, for someone like myself that's not really into classic horror or horror at all, I wouldn't have even known about the original Thing if it wasn't for the new one that came out.
Right.
And so I think for someone that has a lot of expectations, that would be, if you'd seen the old one. But I feel like anyone that hasn't seen the old one will probably appreciate the new one as just a standalone horror movie.
Well, but that's actually the one great thing about this movie is the way that it ends will make anybody who's seen it, even if they don't love it, even if they just like it a little bit, immediately you're going to go rent John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, right on.
It is a prequel that the closing credits tie into the opening credits of the John Carpenter movie. So that aspect of it is really good.
That's cool. This is a good example of what I like to call the Spielberg-Lucas effect. You create a movie, with what you have, back in maybe the 80s, the 70s, or whenever. And back then, what they had was claymation and puppetry. They didn't have CGI. And to me, that made The Thing amazing. Right. Is the fact that, all the special effects was done by these geniuses who are actually able to creep the hell out of you with all their puppetry and their makeup and all that. And so, I'm sure somebody was really excited about doing this movie again, but this time, now we can make everything CGI. How did that compare? Was it scarier to see it in claymation and puppetry, or in makeup?
Well, there was a difference. A better critic than I, Roger Ebert, once commented on CGI, and the difference in movies like Star Wars as opposed to the old Star Wars is a CGI Yoda. He doesn't occupy space. He doesn't look like a real thing. Now, Yoda from the original movies obviously looks like a puppet, but somehow because he's really there, you can take him seriously as a character. The new one, he's a cartoon interacting with human beings. That's how it sort of was for me for The Thing, where the monsters are crazy and they look great, but they also look like they're CGI monsters.
I feel like we could solve that problem if we just got the guy that played Gollum to do every CGI monster in Hollywood. Because that's probably like the one exception.
Andy Serkis.
You know, and this is the truly surprising part to me was CGI opens up limitless possibilities for special effects, and yet it was not quite as imaginative as the practical special effects of the original The Thing. It didn't look quite as good, but it was a little more repetitive. They didn't go crazy with it like they could have.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Now, another horror release that we'll get through pretty quickly is called Dreamhouse. It's got a high-power cast led by Daniel Craig, Rachel Weisz, Naomi Watts. It is a thriller about Daniel Craig, a man who has lost his memory, moves into a new home, and realizes that the family that lived there before died, and that they were his family, and that he killed them, and that he's been in an asylum. Now, I'm not telling you the plot twist. I'm telling you the plot setup.
I'm already confused.
Yes.
Seems like Daniel Craig's just kind of trying to do his own Shutter Island. Unfortunately, this movie didn't work. It's one of the worst reviewed movies of the year. And Jim Sheridan, the director, is trying to get his name removed from the movie. He's a great director. He did The Boxer, In America, My Left Foot. And unfortunately, it may be the writer that messed up this movie. The writer, his biggest hit is Whoopi Goldberg's Eddie.
Wow.
Well,
that was quite a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. If you're not into Dreamhouse, make sure to check out Paranormal Activity 3, which will be hitting DVD on Tuesday as well.
Yes, and Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we are going to actually talk about Paranormal 3 a little bit later when we talk about found footage movies. We're going to take a real quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about this week's, to me, biggest new release on DVD and Blu-ray, the incredible crime drama Drive.
The new movie's out, I gotta see it. Where can I go when my pockets are tight? I don't wanna wait till it's delivered to my door, 'cause I know a place where I can get it tonight. Go, 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 video. You can get a movie for $1 a day, and only $2.50 for the new Blu-ray. Go, 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 video. And no memberships and no late fees, so you can watch your movie with incredible ease. Go, 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 video. Great selection and no more waiting. The only place to go in your current location.
Home to over 1,000 movies to choose from, Go Video is located in the Chevron on Millhopper and 43rd across from Publix on Hunter's Crossing. You can also visit our website at govideogainesville.com.